Please remember, nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice.
Politics is the art of controlling your environment. Hunter S. Thompson.
And a bunch of viewers I have met, and the reason I'm here to thank you. I appreciate you thanking me, but I'm here to thank you for all that you have done to support this effort. Truly, it does take it on. And this army has been incredible. And
We're gonna win this thing, and then we're gonna throw a proper party.
I know it's hard to hear over the crowd, but Brad says when they win this, they're going to throw a proper party. Listen again.
We're gonna win this thing, and then we're gonna throw a proper party. And then we're gonna throw a proper party.
Ripple is throwing the proper party on September 29th in Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. Prior to that announcement going live, somebody DM'd me from Ripple to ask me to help recirculate the news about the proper party. So why all the effort? So Brad announces at XRP Las Vegas that they're going to throw a proper party when this is all resolved, when there is a settlement. Now, XRPP, which is a satire account, says that his prediction is Ripple announces a full settlement with the SEC. Ripple announces an IPO. XRP runs past all-time high. Gary Gensler's marched naked through the crowd and everyone screams shame. XRPP does a jello shot with Brad. And David replies, only two of these things will happen. So, I mean, David has been known to joke around with the community, but why would he say only two of these things will happen? So you match that up with what Brad said. Brad said we're going to have to throw a proper party when we have victory over the SEC. So the loose ends that are in this case, right, is that what they're celebrating, or are they going to celebrate a legitimate settlement, a full settlement with the SEC? It can't be an IPO because you can't get sued by the SEC and be in an ongoing lawsuit with the SEC and then IPO at the same time. That doesn't make very much sense to me because Gensler and all of those people at the SEC have to sign off on an IPO. XRP running past all-time high. David doesn't know that either. Or maybe he does. Gary Gensler's marched naked through the crowd and we all yell shame. I don't think that's happening. XRPP does a jello shot with Brad. So that probably is one of the two as well. So I'm thinking that is Ripple announces a full settlement with the SEC.
You've worked with the mayor. You have made a donation in the form of Ripple cryptocurrency to SF State. Do you feel a responsibility to do all of those things? Just explain the why, first of all.
Yeah, well, I love the city. I was born in the city. My parents met in the city, and it's the most special place.
Did you catch that? He said that Chris Larson made a donation to San Francisco. He made a donation in the cryptocurrency of XRP. So California accepted XRP and sold it for fiat as a donation.
A donation in the form of Ripple cryptocurrency to SF State.
Larson is greasing the wheels of politics with XRP.
It's unfortunate that the singular face of the anti-crypto army is the one who happens to have the most control.
Oh, definitely has the most control. Her acolytes. I mean, when I explained, there were folks in Congress who wanted to hear the whole story, and I did share the whole story with them. And when I explained it's like you said, everyone knew exactly who this was. And what I have been told, I can't confirm it, is that Biden didn't care about financial services policy. And so he outsourced it to her. And she's had a veto over all of the people who have been appointed to financial services regulation. She's on the Senate Banking Committee, right? So she is basically, look, for whatever you think, I don't want to get political here, but President Biden is not working 18 hours a day. Okay.
And he's not the one who's tweeting about crypto, right? I mean, let's be real.
But that's the point, right? I mean, who's really in charge? Okay. In financial services, what I've been told, I can't prove it, is that it's her. Okay. So it's so screwed up what's going on right now. And, but back to your point, does that really matter? Okay. Because we're heading into the presidential election, and I think it's going to be the craziest election maybe in U.S. history. Okay.
Caitlin Long is a professional. She owns a bank that's trying to incorporate stable coins and Bitcoin custody. She has her ear to the ground and her finger on the pulse of DC. She knows exactly what's happening, and there is an entity, there is a group of people that are trying to stop crypto. They're pushing back all the applications regardless of how safe they are or what they require. There is some type of force stopping crypto from happening.
But certainly those that were anti, right? I don't think the Elizabeth Warren anti-crypto army, other than than the White House, and again, we do know a lot about the connections. I never heard of the person at the White House who did all this. And it all happened over the Christmas break, and kind of got started in January. It's again like it's just crazy what happened to us when it all comes out. The political decision that got made, and the coordination, but that multiple supposedly independent federal banking agencies told applicants to withdraw their applications at the same time, and these applications were supposed to be standing on their own. And with the leaks we were dealing with, that the Fed would be voting us down 2 days before the vote even happened. And we know from the conversations, including some of it in email, that the White House was involved.
The other odd coincidence with this is that this happened right before Christmas. If you recall, Jay Clayton sued Ripple and hurt everybody in the XRP army right before Christmas. There is a trend of things happening right before Christmas in the financial markets. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about San Francisco as the crypto city.
Yeah.
Is that something you recognize?
Well, that's really unfortunate, because I think, unfortunately, this administration made a really bad call
At the city level or at the federal level?
At the federal level. They pretty much killed San Francisco from being what it was, the blockchain capital of the world. We owned it, and we don't anymore because the Biden administration, for whatever reason, decided they want to push this industry offshore. And so it's London, Singapore, Dubai that really are the global capitals of blockchain. That's unfortunate. Maybe our vacancy rate would be half of what it is here in San Francisco. It's 30%. It might have been 15% if we still were the global blockchain capital of the world. So that was a missed opportunity. It's really unfortunate. It hurt the city.
There's a tremendous amount of opportunity that lives in the blockchain sector. This includes jobs. This includes businesses. Well, when I speak to the builders, they're focusing on Europe. And that's because of the MiCA regulations. The MiCA regulations are allowing securities to come on open public blockchains. They're allowing real-world assets to flow on blockchains. So the infrastructure is all being set up right in front of everybody. However, the U.S., that owns the vast majority of wealth, is still playing hardball. It's still being slowed down by regulatory capture.
Ice melting. The Fed just recently announced a novel activities supervision program. Well, if you read what they said about Custodia on January 27th, it was hell no 18 ways from Sunday. The door slammed shut on everybody except the big banks, which they had already approved. Bank of New York Mellon.
So you may remember Matthew Mellon. Matthew Mellon was an heir to BNY Mellon. Caitlin Long just said that the banks are being favored. BNY Mellon specifically is being favored. Well, this heir, that's a billionaire, put in millions and millions of dollars into XRP. He said that crypto is this dark, scary place, and I'm pro-America, I'm pro-bank. That's why I chose XRP. Matthew Mellon suffered from addiction. He was speaking with presidents. There's photos of him speaking with Michael Bolton, Liz Hurley, Hugh Grant. He was next to Air Force One in one picture. He also was dating RFK Jr.'s daughter, and she is a model of some sort. So The guy was very connected into Hollywood as well as politics, and he went to Mexico to take an experimental type of way to kick addiction using potent psychedelics. Now, he ended up never making it to the addiction facility. Circle's account is at BNY Mellon, and that's what Caitlin Long said. They're favoring the incumbents like BNY Mellon.
There's going to be a new law in the United States for payment stablecoins. And payment stablecoins are going to be legally defined as cash equivalent digital cash instruments in the US financial system. And when that happens, that's a great thing. And it will create a consistent, clear way for a very vibrant competitive market to emerge.
So Circle, Visa, and Crypto.com have set up a partnership. USDC that's put on Ethereum as well as Solana is going to be moved around using Crypto.com. This is saving them 20 or 30 bips on everything, going from 8 days to 4 days. The settlement process is a leap forward for the payments industry as it allows for faster, more reliable transactions that are backed by blockchain and can be done anytime from anywhere without currency conversion. So USDC is a US dollar. It's backed 1-for-1 with treasuries or cash substitutes. That means that it's short-term treasuries, right? Like a 1 month to 3 months maybe. And they earn a small amount of interest on those treasuries as well as they have a stockpile of cash. So when people want their USDC coin, they'll get cash in return. This is one of the better stable coins. However, it depegged when Silicon Valley Bank went under. A lot of their cash is in Silicon Valley Bank. Peter Thiel wrote a message, and then Jeremy Allaire started moving cash around to BNY Mellon. Now all the cash sits in BNY Mellon, and that is what backs USDC. Not to mention they have an account with BlackRock that has a ton of treasuries. So Visa and Crypto.com are now using USDC internally to move money around. They're going to start offering this at merchant checkouts, cross-border payments, and marketplaces. So you're going to be able to work with Crypto.com as if they were a bank.
There's going to be a new law in the United States for payment stablecoins. And payment stablecoins are going to be legally defined as cash equivalent digital cash instruments in the US financial system. And when that happens, that's a great thing. And it will create a consistent, clear way for a very vibrant competitive market to emerge.
This is an old document showing Coinbase offering a similar solution as Crypto.com, as well as offering XRP to move money cheaply and quickly. So they can do the same business model as Crypto.com. However, they're going to use XRP and USDC.
Is that reflected on Gary Gensler, to your mind, as lead of that?
Well, you bring up a great point. You saw in the latest challenge on the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF. Again, SEC lost, but not only that, the judge really admonished the SEC, really called them out in a way that you don't really see very often. I think it's just more proof that Gary Gensler's decision of sort of engaging this regulation by enforcement, rather than getting clear laws, he knows they're not clear. He just likes that lack of clarity so that he can go after anybody and make up the rules as he goes along through bullying. And that's not the American way. This should be at Congress. We should have clear rules from the legislatures, not through these sort of unelected, power-hungry, and really misplaced decision makers that you see in Gary Gensler.
Regulators like the power of ambiguity. They like the power to be able to have the gray zone and manipulate the gray zone. You're guilty until proven innocent. Well, when they take these behemoths to courts, and the judges rule in the favor of the crypto companies, these regulators have their abilities taken away from them because the courts clearly say X, Y, and Z. They can no longer accuse you of X, Y, and Z because the judges have already came in and intervened.
Litigation that was prompted by crypto, which I find hilarious. They literally have lost their minds. And they're in bet the farm litigation. That is the type of litigation that could clip their wings meaningfully.
And they keep
and
losing.
so
The SEC specifically, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the SEC's in a couple of those cases, right? I don't think they thought they were going to lose the Ripple case, because if Ripple wasn't an unregistered securities offering,
the Coinbase claim now has no water. Like, whether we agree with it or not, what's a security doesn't matter. If their entire premise of their case against Coinbase is all of these unregistered securities, and that doesn't hold water for Ripple, it's over for them against Coinbase, at least on that claim.
the Fed would be voting us down 2 days before the vote even happened. And we know from the conversations, including some of it in email, that the White House was involved.
The White House is intervening in crypto companies' applications to get licenses. Think about that. The actual White House is getting involved with bureaucracy. Why? Why were they going so far out of their way?
Companies that people didn't support, like Ripple.
Like
right?
Ripple, right. Yeah.
And so it's my gut feeling is that they just pushed too hard and they're getting pushback, and now they can't push as hard as they wanted to again. But do you think it's that? Because it doesn't seem like the Fed, who said literally never to you effectively in January, it's surprising that now, only 7 or 8 months later, you're sort of seeing at least the window cracked for you guys, you know?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily for us, right? I mean, again, they like the incumbents. Look at what they did to the startup. This is definitely a theme. There is a soft corruption in the entire financial system that is a very strong incumbency bias. And of course, by definition, nobody who's in digital assets is an incumbent, because the incumbents, that wasn't where the innovation bubbled up. And so they really are ill-equipped to deal with it. And so I'm glad they're acknowledging that they need the outside help, and they have this program now.
Torres technology. So Torres technology right now is... So Taurus right now is a technology Sitgestion, a Swiss private bank in 2009, is starting to issue shares on Taurus technology. This is being overseen by the regulators, the CMTA, and they're issuing tokenized shares on Ethereum. So securities on Ethereum that they're issuing. And this is an older press release. It says Arab Bank in Switzerland has a digital asset infrastructure for Torres Group. Torres Group has plans to add Ripple the next month. So this was an older document, and they're adding Ripple for Arab Bank. Now, this is the Torres website. You can see Ethereum, Tezos, plus 10 more. So here's XRP down here. They didn't forget about XRP. Here's Stellar, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, BNB, Litecoin, right? So the user on the client side says, I want to make 100 shares, and it mints them on any of these chains. But let's say I wanted to burn 100 shares and mint it on another chain. So it makes it really easy for people to work with blockchain. So redundancy, multiple nodes on blockchain. You're able to use all these tools very easily. You can see here's a RippleNet partner. Temenos is partnered with Ripple. So they offer a bunch of different solutions to clients. And the EU is getting a head start because they have MiCA regulations. When I speak to people, by the way, I've been hosting some Genfinity spaces. I've been speaking to people like Max Heinzel from 21 Finance. I've been speaking to Rashid from Alliance Block. These guys are building today for EU markets, and they're getting approvals. As a matter of fact, Max Heinzel said it was 40 days when he put in an application to the ECB, and he got approval for the platform that he's building on A0. So
with A0 and the team that I would really like to classify as important pioneer work that is being done. Yeah, and again, we look forward to getting that over the finishing line in the next couple of months to come. So it's exciting that we already received 40 days after our application from ESMA, the Federal Reserve Bank, and also BaFin feedback.
Look, here's Kraken, here's Bitstamp, Coinbase, TDX, Temenos over here, right? And here's the blockchains, Ethereum, Tezos, Cardano. This stuff is getting ready to be used. The whole European Union has got clarity, and it's full steam forward. The U.S. can take as long as it wants, but the rest of the world is moving on. It is the people who control the government, not the government, the people. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and comment down below. If you enjoy content like this, please consider joining my Patreon or my Ghost site.